Lotshono Mthakazo Omuhle silamukela njalo kwesinye isiqephu sethu sezindaba kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio. Namhla kungolwesine zingamashumi 29 kuNkwenkwezi ngomnyaka ka-2025. Indaba lizethulelwa nguKhethiwe Chuma. Kwezihamba phambili namhlanje, uMnangagwa sechothozwe kakhulu ngokwethusela onozindaba lapho abefaka khona umthetho omusha. Ugono uxwayisa ngomvukela njengoba ibandla leZANU-PF libhadalisa imithelo engaphezulu. I-Trapper Plus Interchange kukhangelelwe ukuba ivulwe ngokusemthethweni kusasa iloba kulokusola ngendlela edure ngayo. Nansi indaba zethu ngokugcweleyo. Umongameli webandla leZANU-PF Emmerson Mnangagwa izolo uye wathatha ithuba lokuba ahlasele onozindaba lapho abefaka khona umthetho omusha wezokusakazwa. Uye wathi onozindaba kumelanga baveze inkohlakalo ngohulumende wakhe, kanti njalo uthi kumele bakhulume kuhle ngohulumende, lokhu abachothozayo abathi kuyinkohlakalo. Isiphathamandla sebandla eliphikisayo uStephen Sarkozy Chuma uthi uhulumende kumele enze amathuba omsebenzi amahle lapho onozindaba bazakwenza umsebenzi wabo bengela kwesaba loba ukukhetha. Ake sizweno kaChuma ekhuluma.
Yes, yesterday we were very shocked to hear ZANU-PF dictator Emmerson Mnangagwa threatening journalists that they should report positively about the so-called Second Republic. But we all know that the Second Republic has sold on people's rights. We all know that the Second Republic has sold on the rights of journalists, so they deserve no respect from journalists. We know that the concern is very clear on Section 61 about freedom of expression and also the rights of journalists, but the regime of Emmerson Mnangagwa does not respect rights of journalists, as we have seen in the past, where a journalist, Blessed Mhlanga, spent 73 days in pre-trial detention for simply doing his duty. What is clear from Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime is that the national media policy, which he launched yesterday, is an attempt to threaten journalists, is an attempt to align journalists to report according to ZANU-PF principles, not according to media principles. So this is saddening.
Uhulumende webandla leZANU-PF usesolwe kakhulu ngokudonsa imali ephezulu yemithelo ezakhamizini le engakhanyiyo lokuthi isebenzani. Lokhu kuchiwe ngulo wayemela iLobhengula Magwegwe edale lephalamende, umhlonishwa uGono osole kakhulu uhulumende kaEmmerson Mnangagwa ngokutshontshela izakhamizi ezimpofu, kanti njalo enganikile incazelo yokuthi imali isebenzeni. Uye waxwayisa ukuba ukufaka imithelo ephezulu kuza kwenza ukuba izakhamizi zivukele uhulumende. Ake sithole imininingwana eminingi kuye.
Alikho ilizwe lapha emhlabeni elilama-tax afana lawe eZimbabwe. Njalo nxa sikhangele abantu eZimbabwe bahlupheka kakhulu ngoba abanamsebenzi. Imali ayikho. Khona lokho okuncane esikutholayo i-government yeZimbabwe ifuna ukusithathela konke. Kwamanje abantu kumele bebhadale ama-ZBC license, kodwa akekho umuntu olalela i-ZBC. I-ZBC isikhulumeni seZANU-PF and akekho umuntu oyithandayo iZANU-PF. Wonke umuntu akayithandi iZANU-PF. So akula muntu ozakhululeka ukukhipha imali yakhe ebhadala ukulalela i-ZBC ngoba akekho oyilalelayo. Ngabe i-ZBC yenza njengamanye ama-station abhadalisa abantu njenge-airtime okuthi uyazithengela nxa ufuna ukufona. Abantu bakhangela ukuthi ZBC yenza njalo. Ofunayo ukuyilalela athenge-ke i-airtime ye-ZBC. Hayikhona ukufosezela wonke umuntu ukuthi ebhadale leyo mali ngoba akekho umuntu oyilalelayo. But masibhekile uSmith wakwenza la eforce abantu ukubhadala ama-hard tax, kodwa kwagcina kwesenza ukuthi abantu bephakame. So ngokubona kwami mina umphakathi uzaphakama ngenxa yama-tax lawa ase-impozwa asemaningi kakhulu. So kubuhlungu. Labantu laba sebeyimkhaza wasiminya umuhula. And I think ukuthi abantwana baseZimbabwe sebesifike esigabeni sokubana sebezoreacta, sebezothatha i-action, and abasezobeyithanda i-action ezathathwa ngumphakathi.
I-Trabaplas Interchange le bisaziwa ngokuthi Imbuzi Roundabout eHarare kukhangelelwe ukuba ivulwe ngokusemthethweni kusasa, iloba kulezi nsolo zokuba kusetshenziswe imali eningi kakhulu ukuze kwakhiwe lo mgwaqo. Lokhu okuhlobana losomabhizinisi uKhudata Gwiray, lo osolwa kakhulu ngenkohlakalo, owayengungqongqoshe kanti njalo engusodolobha wakoBulawayo, uDavid Coltart usesole kakhulu ngemali engange-88 million eDollar leMelika esebenze ukulungisa le indawo. Uye waphosela emakhasini akhe okuxhumana. uColtart uthi imali le iphezulu kakhulu kanti njalo lokho sokwenziwe kule indawo akuhambisani lalokho okwenziwe ngendlela efananayo kwamanye amazwe ase-Afrika. Kusenjalo uNozindaba kanti njalo wayelilunga lebandla leZANU-PF uJealous Mawarire useveze ukuba kungani abanye abantu besekela umbono ka-2030 waka-Emmerson Mnangagwa. Kungxoxiswano esibelayo uMawarire uthi usomabhizimusi uKhudata Gwiray kanye labanikani bakhe batshontshela uhulumende ngendlela eziningi kakhulu ngokufaka intengo ibe phezulu, lokhu okwenza kulimaze uhulumende kanti njalo balokuthenga izinto zikahulumende ngendlela ephezulu langemali ephezulu bebuye bayithengisele njalo ihulumende ukuze bazuze inzuzo. Uye wathi izenzo lezi izezenza uhulumende ehluleke ukubhadala iholo kanye lokubalungisise ukubhadala kwesikwelede selizwe. Ake sithole imininingwana eminingi kuMawarire lapho wachasisa khona ngokutshontshwa lokhu.
The third term is really lucrative for these criminals. For instance, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and on behalf of these six, also runs a treasury bill scandal in the country, where people who were issued out with treasury bills in 2019, when we had a change of currency, when the Zimbabwe government could not pay these. Some of them are business people, when they couldn't either provide the Zim dollar that these people had used to apply for money from the Reserve Bank, to apply to get forex from the Reserve Bank. We had a situation where, because of the change of the currency, these people were then issued with treasury bills by the government of Zimbabwe. Some of the treasury bills that mature in 2042, some in 2047. But now the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance has created a market for these treasury bills, where if you hold $100 million worth of treasury bills, they persuade you to discount them. Some of the discounts get even to 80%. So you had a $100 million treasury bill. It's discounted. You are paid 20 million cash on that day. But here is the corruption. The government of Zimbabwe does not only fork out 20 million, it pays the total value of the treasury bill as if it is matured. So 100 million is paid to you, but you have a separate arrangement with the lawyers of Guamatanga and the cabal, where you are supposed to pay 80 million to them. So the 100 million is transferred to you, but you only take 20 million because that's what's due to you. The 80 million goes to this cabal. And it has been going on since 2022. This sort of black market, this corrupt deal for treasury bills. So that's the situation. So you have, on one hand, state assets being looted. The Kuvimba mining house example is one. We have an entity where government purportedly sold the mining entity 50% of their share for $21.5 million in 2019. Then Gwiray and company then paid off the other Russian shareholder 38 million, a total of 60 million paid for that mine. Then they take some few other mines, add to that, form what is called Kuvimba Mining House, valued then at 220 million. That was the value, 220 million. So in 2023, when government wanted 975 million from Gwiray and company, include working with the Minister of Finance, Mutuli Ncube, working with the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, revalued The same mine that was valued at 220 million, it's now valued for 1.5 billion in 2023 for the purposes of offsetting a $975 million debt that Taguire had with government of Zimbabwe. So they said 65% of the shares in Kuimba Mining House is equivalent to 975 billion. They remain with 35%. This is 2023. Come 2024, the same mine is revalued. And now, using CBZ capital owned by Taguire, the value rises from 1.5 billion to 5.4 billion. Then after it has been revalued, they say now we are selling our shares, 35%, for 1.9 billion. They get 1.9 billion. They go to CBZ, they go to CBZ, they sell, they discount their treasury bills because government paid them with treasury bills. They get 600 million. They do whatever they want with the 600 million. But now their company called the CBZ holds the $1.9 billion treasury bills with a 5% per annum interest. So now, through CBZ, they're getting 23 million per every quarter, which amounts to 100 million a year, just from the interest rate accrued. So they are earning $100 million just from interest, from the sale of 35% shares. This is before the treasury bills mature. Maybe in five years they will mature. But before that, they would have accrued $500 million just in interest. And this 100 million a year is paid and is given preference for payment to anything else. We have a situation where even civil servants are not paid. But the 23 million US dollars per quarter is given priority. It's paid because it's distributed among these thieves, who include even the president of the country. The president is held hostage because of his mental status. He has been held hostage. And those that are holding him hostage, including his family, are those that are seeking a third term for him. The Kudakwashe Taguires, the John Panone Tsamangujiga, the Guamatanga permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, the family of the president who are involved in this looting are the ones that are pushing for the third term. So the president has no say in this because he has no mental presence to understand what is happening around him. Decisions are being made at Prickhead Farm, at his farm in Kwekwe, more than 200 kilometers away from State House. That's where decisions are being made. And the fact that the president says officially that he's not seeking a third term, and everything else that is happening around him from his own ministers, the Minister of Local Government is a vehement campaigner for the third term. And his family and all these who are involved in looting national resources are pushing him. They are saying a different language. So it shows that the president is not in control. If he was in the few moments that he regains consciousness, he talks about being a constitutionalist. But because he's held hostage by those that are really in control of executive powers and are exercising executive powers on his behalf, the surrogate presidents that I've said, Kudakwashe Taguire, he is being railroaded to a third term. That's the unfortunate situation.
Izolo siyesethula udaba mayelana lohulumende wase-United Kingdom okhiphe imgoqo ebantwini abane kanye lenkampani eyodwa ngaphansi kwemgoqo efakelwe uhulumende weZimbabwe. Namhlanje siye saxoxisana lesiphathamandla sebandla eliphikisayo umhlonitshwa uKhobani Matsivanyika ophawule ngalolu daba lokuba kambeza ibandla leZANU-PF lisazoqhubeka nalo licatsha ngomunwe ngenxa yelimgoqo. Ake simzweni ekhuluma.
The recent delisting of Minister Owenqube, Minister Anzele Mzanyathwe, Isaac Moyo, and the former Commissioner General Godwin Matanga from the United Kingdom sanctions list is a clear testament or a correct indictment to what we've been saying all along, that Zimbabwe as a country is not under sanctions, but individuals are under sanctions for various crimes against humanity and the lack of respect for rule of law and the issue of violence and intimidation on political opponents. So you will find that of late, the government of Zimbabwe and all its officials have been blaming the sanctions for their failure to provide decent jobs or employment for the people of Zimbabwe. They have been blaming sanctions for failing to tame the general price increases, that is inflation. They've been blaming sanctions for failure to provide for a stable currency. local currency. They have been blaming sanctions for their failure to provide proper infrastructure, that is roads, rail, and water and sanitation. They failed dismally in every sphere of life, and ultimately they blame economic sanctions to say that Zimbabwe is under economic sanctions. But the recent delisting of the individuals is very clear that the sanctions are not on Zimbabwe, but the sanctions are targeted on individuals. So, now that the individuals have been removed from the sanctions list, we want to see who else would they blame to say we are failing to do this for our people because of sanctions. We want to see who else would they blame. It is very important and fundamental that to understand that the sanction regime that was put in Zimbabwe was targeted, particularly number one, on the issue to do the asset freeze. The idea was to say, if you steal money from Zimbabwe, you cannot go and invest that money in America. You cannot go and invest that money in the European Union. You cannot go and invest that money in the UK. That was the reason. So actually, it was intended to protect the people of Zimbabwe from these fraudsters. Secondly, it was a travel ban to say people who engage in violence and the persecution of its own people, people who brutalize their political opponents, people who do not want to promote freedom of media, freedom of speech, and who basically do not respect human and property rights, should not set their foot in the United Kingdom, should not set their foot in the European Union countries, should not set their foot in the United States of America. And for that matter, therefore, we want to clearly express to the people of Zimbabwe, for them to understand that it was all lies to say that Zimbabwe as a country is under sanctions. It was actually an idea or a way of running away from the realities of life. The biggest problem in this country is corruption. We have seen how the country has been looted to the dogs. So it is very important for Zimbabweans to understand that it is not sanctions that is the cause of our problems in Zimbabwe. It is now clear by the removal of these targeted sanctions from these individuals who were mentioned to see that Zimbabwe as a country was not under any economic sanction that affect its prosperity, but it was under sanctions for individuals who violate other people's human rights.
Umsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio uye wakhulumisana lalo lwelamalungelo abantu uTreasure Pasopo osiphe eyakhe imbono mayelana ngokukhishwa kwemgoqo ebantwini abane lenkampani eyodwa eyeZimbabwe Defence Industries. Ake simzweni ekhuluma.
I obviously believe in the autonomy, in the self-determination, in the sovereignty of states as defined by the Montevideo Convention of 1933 on the rights and duties of states. However, in this current era that we are living in, I strongly believe that for globalization or for the international legal mechanisms to have weight, there must be means and methods, there must be measures that can be adopted on autocratic countries or autocratic consolidation agenda. And the sanctions have obviously been used in history and in this current era is one of those methods. Discussing on the effectiveness and the fairness is a discussion for another day, but as it stands, one of the tools is sanctions. So in this case, in the case of the dictatorship in our country, we obviously have the what is being referred to locally as Rigananda, or which means the levers of political power, the levers of political oppression in the country, those who commit crime with impunity. And in this case, there's Owen Murangube, well-known thug, a criminal, Anselm Sanyatwe, who was presiding over the killing of our people, who were democratically demonstrating within the confines of our national constitution in terms of the Bill of Rights, Kodun Matanga, Isaac Moyo, Zimbabwe Defence Industries, and the Army Company. And I do not understand why these entities or these people have been removed from the list of sanctions, because in as far as we are concerned, the citizens of Zimbabwe, the criminals that they have committed or that they were committing, they have not yet answered to all these criminals. And the rationale behind removing these sanctions then becomes a very, 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 very difficult to understand. So I am of the strong opinion that those who have been sanctioned can only be removed as a matter of a consensus, at least at a national level. With the ordinary citizens, with the civic society, with the media, people have to consult as to whether these comrades or these people qualify to be removed. Because in as far as we are concerned, the citizens of Zimbabwe, criminals like Owen Mudanyu, they are threatening people every day. They are killing people in Kwekwe and Gweru, and they have not answered to all these things. So I would have strongly advocated for the continuation of sanctions on these particular targeted individuals. Thank you very much.
Ubudlelwano belizwe leZimbabwe kanye leChina sobubuya babuyela emlonyeni yezakhamizi njalo ngemva kokuba ilizwe leli likhuphe uluhlu lwamazwe angama-47 angadingi imvumo yokuba angene kulelo lizwe. iZimbabwe njengamanye amazwe ase-Afrika lingelinye lelizwe elingekho kulelo luhlu. Abahlaziya ngezepolitiki njalo ekhuluma ngezepolitiki uJefferson Chitando wathi iloba ibandla leZANU-PF liziqhenya ngobudlelwano babo lelizwe leChina ukuba abangabangani abangaguqukiyo, ukwenza kwabo kukhomba okunye. Abayisithupha abebandla eliphikisayo ababoshwa eDr Morgan Tsvangirai House ngomnyaka ka-2020 baye babuyela njalo namhlanje enkantolo kuyalalelwa kokwahlulelwa kwecala labo. Abayisithupha laba abathi uSenator umama uBongai Thome, umhlonitshwa uGladys Hlatshwayo, uTendai Biti, uLynette Karinyen Kore, uLove Moch Noputsa kanye loDavid Chimini baza kubuyela njalo enkantolo mhla zingama-23 kunyanga ezayo ukuze bayelalela ukuthi liza kuphela njani icala njengoba kudluliselwe kumagqwetha abo ukuba balethe owabo umbono. Izakhamizi zaseChitungwi zasesikhuthaze uhulumende ukuba akhangelisise udaba lwabo lokudubeka ngamanzi kuleli dolobho. Ezinye zezakhamizi esixoxisane lazo kumsakazo weCitizens Movement Radio zithi imgodi yafakwa ngu-Emmerson Mnangagwa ngaphansi lwakhe lohlelo lukamongameli egebhela abantu imgodi. Leyo mgodi kayisasebenzi. Ake sizweni bekhuluma.
Isu sevagari vemuchitungwiza zvisina kutyanana kana kuvhundutsirana ndichingozvimiririra hangu inini dambudziko ratanaro izvezvi remvura ragarisa. Vana vedu chaivo havachatoziva kuti mvura inobuda kana patepi chaipo. Kudhara taitogeza shawa but ndofunga takutosvika 25 years tindofunga ndakapedzera kutoiona ndine 38 years asi ndakapedzera kuona mvura ndofunga ndaiva grade 2 chaiyo chaiyo kuti tigeze shawa. Takushandisa mvura dzakasviba, vanhu vari kuuya vachititengesera mvura yakabva kunaya. Izvezvi tese singafanira kuwana dambudziko remvura nguva yakadai. Takapromiswa isusu kunzi mvura ichapera, dambudziko remvura tikambonzi towards my elections abva aya 23 August aya tikanzi mvura ichapera, presidential scheme waMnangagwa wachitaurawo zvawaitaura, tikafunga kuti dambudziko richapera. Asi 2 years dzichangotiperei after my elections vadzokera home office hapasina kana chimuko. Maboho havo akanga aisa vacho amwe achashanda, amwe achari kupoliticizwa. Tukunzi tunofanira kunge une kadhi reZANU-PF kuti unge uchiwana mvura, zvimwe zvacho hazvichatoshandi. Saka seraiti yedu isusu sevagari tukunzi tinobhadhara futi mvura kukanzuru, mvura yacho haibudi, mari dzacho dzatoziva kuti dzinoshandei. Tinoswera tichitsvaga mari yechikafu, totsvaga mari yemvura yekutotenga mvura yakachena kuti ungokwanisa kuzobika. Ndava isusu sekwatinogara tinondochera murwizi chemo nezvimatsime zvakasviba zvakakontaminetwa, maboho ari kungoitwa tinoti septic tank kuseri kuemba chibhora chimugodhi kufrandi. Saka titori mutime bomb chaiyo yekolera. Saka zvinhu izvozvi isusu tanzwa zvazotinyanyira izvezvi. Chikumbiro chedu pada kuti pagadziriswe, hatizivi kuti panogadziriswa sei, kana yekuudza chaiyo hatina. Vanhu vacho vanongoti promisa towards my elections. After my elections vagara havo kudzimba dzavo nevana vavo, hapasina munhu.
Abahlali abaxotshwa eCloverdale Farm kweleRuwa, iningi labo bengabalandeli bebandla leZANU-PF, sebethe bona bazi kuvotela ibandla leZANU-PF kukhetho oluzayo ngo-2028. Izakhamizi lezi zithi zithukuthele ngohulumende webandla leZANU-PF owathi kababavotele ngemva kokuba bephiwe umhlabathi, kuthe beqeda kubavotela sebebaxosha njalo kulowo mhlabathi. Ake sizweni omunye wabatsha osuswe kuyona le indawo lothi akazi kuphinda fotele ibandla leZANU-PF njalo.
Kuchema mwedu tikuchema futi zvinhu zvedu hatirwadza zvaomarara. Munhu akafa uyu hachinyanya kuti rwadza kuti angane vana twins vadiki vari kukambaira izvezvi akafa ende hatizoziva kuti akachemwa nehama dzake anoti vanhu hapana ari kuziva nezvinhu zviri kuitika zvinonguva ino izvezvi hatizoti mukadzi wake ari kupi ende hamisoti akachemerwa kupi munhu wacho zviri kutirwadza mba ende futi kwakapfurwa vanhu 3 kuno izvezvi mumwe wacho akatosungwa ari kumasales izvezvi ane gumbo akatyoka gumbo izvezvi hapana ari kumuona nekuti nyaya yekuti tiri kudzingwa uku akangobata uri wasungwa ende vaitora vanhu vachisunga ende futi ende vangane izvezvi kune vamwe vanga mategas akakandwa mategas kune vane nhumbu nevana vari kumusana izvezvi vamwe vana vari kurwara izvezvi hatizoteta sei noti tiri panguva yakaoma kuna kugara vanhu kugara izvezvi vanhu vaitora mapurisa vaine mota vachikanda zvinhu zvavo kunoko ende vaisakanda zvinhu zvakanaka kuti vaise zvinhu zvakanaka vaiita zvekupotsera zvinhu zvakanaka vachitora izvezvi kuna mari vaichema mabhatiri avo vakati izvezvi vanhu vachibirwa mari dzavo izvezvi turwadzisa mndaa zvekuti inenika hapachimundirwadzi nekuti sei vanhu vacho musangano vasiri kutoona unoti tagara tiri pamusangano kuti pamberi nezano pamberi but tozoona kuti pamberi nezano hapana zvaikutishandira mndaa
saiwo semukomana wechidiki manje wanga wakutasira kunovhota muna 2028
ende taitoti pamberi nekuvhotera president Mnangagwa ende taida kuvhotera tikanga vatipo musho yakaita sei vakanaka taona pekugara tatira roje takuitiwo zvinhu zvedu seizi vakomana taida kuti tame pamba takuitiwo zvinhu zvedu takutogadzirawo matanga ehuku mndana matanga ehuku takuiti maproject akanaka mndana but izvezvi huku dzakafa hatisina kana chatinacho zviso pakaoma
saka takatarisa 2028 iwo nezvakaitika izvi uchanovhotera here ZANU-PF?
handikudi kunyeba titivhote nezvakaitika izvi tivhote tikurwadziwa asi kana vane pekuti isewo pakanaka 2028 tinovhota asi musangano wakatirasisa ende isusu tichatori mayuthi acho isusu tichatori mayuthi taitomiramira munomu mayuthi wetu daidai tichitoitawo chitonzima vamwe tatakupiwa mayuthi tatakupiwa masitendi edu ende pakatanga kusvika zvinhu tasingarari mumba tarara pabhumugeta tichichengetedza musha but musha wacho wakazosvika pakuparara.
Umbhali wezindaba owaziwa kakhulu kuzwekazi le-Afrika uNgugi wa Thiong'o Ngasekho uye wedlula emhlabeni izolo eleminyaka engama-87. uNgugi owasaziwa kakhulu ngamabhuku akhe awabhalayo afana lo-Weep Not, lo-Child, lo-The River kanye lo-I Will Marry When I Want. Imbhalo yakhe yathinta abantu abaningi kakhulu lapho yayikhuluma ngokuthunjwa kwezwekazi lase-Afrika. Sithi umphefumulo wakhe kawulale ngoxolo. Kwezemidlalo, iqembu leChelsea yilo elinqobe ku-2025 emidlalweni ye-UEFA Conference League ngemva kokuba inqobe iqembu le-Real Betis 4-1. Iqembu leChelsea lize ngemuva ngemva kokuba lihlohlwe 1-0 kuhlandla lokuqala ngegoli elivele kolo odlalela kwele-Morocco u-Abedi El-Zouzoli. Amagoli eChelsea ahlohlwe ngu-Enzo Fernandez, Nicholas Jackson, Jadon Sancho kanye lo-Moises Caicedo, labo abenze iChelsea yanqoba. Ukuziphetha lezi ndaba kumsakazo we-Citizens Movement Radio naze bezihamba phambili. uMnangagwa sechotozwe kakhulu ngokwethusela onozindaba ngemva kokuba efake umthetho omusha wezokusakaza. uGono uxwayisa ngomvukela ngoba uhulumende edonsa imithelo ephezulu kakhulu. iTrappa Plus Interchange kukhangelelwe ukuba ivulwe ngokusemthethweni kusasa iloba kulokusolwa ngentengo yayo. Siziphetha lapha lezi indaba.